Okay, so now we are going to discuss about virtual operating system. Okay, now we are going to discuss about the virtualization. So, what is actually virtualization? Hmm? In earlier days, if we want to use, for example, earlier there used to be a single operating system in one computer. In older days, we will use one operating system in one computer. Okay. If you need multiple operating system, we need to we need to purchase multiple computers. Why? Because only one operating system is available in one computer. If you need another operating system, we need to purchase another new computer. So that is very difficult, and also it is very expensive in those days. So that is the reason the scientists made that simple. Okay. So what happened? So hence, to overcome that problem, a dual boot was introduced. So what is dual boot? We can run multiple operating system in single computer. Okay. So when you turn on your computer or when you turn on your laptop in your office or in your college, okay. So when you turn on your computer, automatically it will show you the multiple operating systems. For example, Windows XP, Windows 7, Ubuntu, all the operating systems it will show. We need to select any one of the operating system in the dual boot before turning on the computer. Okay, before turning on the operating system. So when you turn on your laptop, for example, so when you turn on your laptop, it will ask you, okay, whether you need Windows 7 or Ubuntu or Windows XP. Like that, it will ask you. So we need to choose any one of the operating system to enter into that. So that is called dual boot. This kind of system we can call it dual boot. But the problem is here we can only choose or we can only run only one operating system, but we cannot run multiple operating system at the same time. So to fix this problem, we developed another thing is virtualization. Okay. So this virtualization, by using with the help of this virtualization, we can run we can run multiple operating system in multiple operating system parallelly. Okay, we can run Windows XP, we can run Windows 7, we can run Ubuntu, or else we can run any other operating system parallelly. Okay, in a different tabs. We can run Windows XP, 7, Ubuntu in parallelly. Okay, right. And also, it is easy to use. Let me show you. So, what are the advantages of the virtualization actually? Okay, now we are going to use some of the virtualization softwares. Virtualization is technology. Okay, now we are going to use some of the tools called VMware Workstation. VMware Workstation. If you are using the Windows operating system, you can download the VMware Workstation. If you are using the Mac operating system, you can use VMware Fusion. Both belongs to the same company, VMware company only. Okay. And next thing is there is another virtualization tool is also available that is called VirtualBox. That is called VirtualBox. And there are a lot of softwares are available in the internet, but I recommend only these two, either VMware Workstation or VirtualBox. Okay, better if you can use the VMware Workstation. VMware Workstation has a lot of features are available, so that is the reason I recommend. So basically, these tools are will comes under to the hypervisor. tools we can call it as hypervisor. So why do we need to call it as hypervisor? Hypervisor is a these softwares will comes under to the hypervisor. So basically, what is hypervisor means we can run the operating systems parallelly in the same computer at the same time, and as well as we can drag and drop the files from one operating system to another operating system, just like just like a normal folders. Okay, so this kind of access will be given by the hypervisor. Okay, hypervisor is a common name. I mean, hypervisor is the technology name. Okay, and VMware Workstation is the tool name. Okay, these softwares will comes under to the hypervisor. These softwares will comes under to the hypervisor. Okay, what are the advantages of the VMware Workstation? Sometimes we cannot run the suspicious programs on our computer. Okay, sometimes we cannot run suspicious programs on our computer. For example, you may actually you are a security researcher. You made something. Uh, some people sent you one application. You think that it was a suspicious, but you cannot run on that in your computer. Why? Because if you run that in your own computer environment, it might destroy your whole computer. So that is the reason. That is the reason we need to use that in a safer environment to test that application. So so we need to build our own lab. Okay, we need to build our own virtual lab. So that is by using the VMware Workstation or VirtualBox. Okay, so if we run that suspicious application, that will damage only the virtual environment. For example, let's see this. For example, let's see this. Let's consider this is your whole computer hard disk. Okay, in that we will create a virtual environment over here, any one of the place. Okay, this is the VM virtual environment. Okay, so in this virtual environment has a Windows XP operating system. Okay, so in this virtual environment has Windows XP operating system. Some guy sent you a suspicious application to you. Okay, so you run that application in the Windows XP. So what about all these things mean? What about all this space means? This is about the Windows 10. This is our main operating system, base operating system. You can call it as a base OS. We can call this as a virtual OS. Virtual OS is temporary and the base OS is the permanent. Okay. So now you run that malicious program in the Windows XP. Okay. So it reacted and it destroyed the whole Windows XP, and it does not damage and it does not disturb your base operating system. If it is malicious or if it is harmful, it will only damage the virtual environment. So that is the reason we need to we need to run the suspicious things in the virtual environment so that if anything happen, we can safeguard our base operating system. Right. So sometimes we cannot run the suspicious programs on our computer. Such kind of programs we can easily execute without damaging our live data on our computer. So great. So we can run the multiple operating systems. We can run multiple operating systems parallelly. That means we can run Windows XP, we can run Windows 7, we can run Linux operating system, Ubuntu, etc., etc., multiply, parallel. So you can ask me how it is possible. There is a limitation. I will tell you. I will tell you after this advantages. So we can run the multiple operating system, and also we can run those operating system parallelly. Okay. we can make we can make multiple backups for creating the VM VMware HDD. What VHDD means virtual machine hard disk drive. I wrote it down in the short. So we can make multiple backups uh, for creating the VM HDD. In case, why do we need to create the virtual machine HDD, virtual machine hard disk drive? In case the virtual machine hard disk drive is failed, then it can be replaceable by the backups. This will save your time and efforts. For example, for example, we run a malicious program in Windows XP. For example, we run a malicious program in the Windows XP. Okay, and it was destroyed. So again, we need to install the Windows XP in your computer. It will take a lot of time. Okay, if you want to install the Windows XP or if you want to install any other operating system in your computer, again, it will take almost 25 minutes to 30 minutes, 25 minutes to 35 minutes of the time. So it will waste your time, right? If you make a backup of this particular folder, okay, particular hard disk file, then immediately you can replace that hard disk file with the another backup. So that will save your time and effort. So copy paste is easier, time saver compared to the installing the operating system. Let's see. I will show you here how my another operating systems are available. Uh, VMware. This is my virtual machine operating system. So how many operating systems are available over here? You can see here. See, I have one Windows XP, another Windows XP, Linux operating system. Oh, total three Windows XPs are available in our my virtual machine, and one Linux operating system is available. Okay, let's see where it is actually. I'm going to right click on it. I just want to show you where it was actually installed. You can see that it was in V drive, new VM HDD, and XP copy in that particular folder. Right click on it, open VM directory. If you observe very clearly, if you observe very clearly, it was in V drive. It was in V drive, new VM HDD. I just created a folder with the name of the new VM HDD. That means new virtual machine hard disk drive. Okay, for my clarification. So here I have the two copies. This is the original copy and this is the second copy. Okay, it doesn't matter which is the original, which is the duplicate, doesn't matter. Basically, why I created the two copies over here. I created the third copy as well. You can click on the copy and you can paste it over here. That will create a third copy. Why do we need to create the copies like this? For example, when we're going to test the application, suspicious application in our within our environment, virtual environment, it might damage without your prior knowledge. So that is the reason we need to be always with the backup. Okay, so that is the reason I always be with the backup. So if it is happen, I delete this Windows XP hard disk and again this particular folder I replace with this. This is pretty simple. If it damaged, then we can replace this. Okay. So you can ask me that, Bharat, where is your hard disk? This folder is my hard disk for Windows XP. Okay, but nothing is in this virtual hard disk folder. We cannot see any information. Why? Because it will be in the encryption mode. Okay, the virtual machine data will be in the encryption. We cannot read and we cannot access that data. Okay, so if one operating system was destroyed, I can immediately replace with another operating system folder. Okay, each folder acts like a virtual hard disk. Okay, so how many operating systems I install in this particular folder? Linux one and two in Windows XP operating systems. Total, I mentioned three. Right, got it. Now we can easily drag and drop. We can drag and drop or copy paste the files from one virtual machine to the another virtual machine, vice versa. So basically, we can drag and drop the files from the Windows XP to the Windows XP to the Linux operating system, Linux operating system to the any other operating system, or you can drag and drop the file from your base machine to the virtual machine to the base machine. Okay, you can drag and drop the files like that. Okay, that was pretty simple. That was cool actually. Okay, instead of the instead of laptop, we can easily carry the virtual machine hard disk drive memory. For example, where you just want to go somewhere somewhere. You don't want to carry the complete laptop forever to carry your virtual machine actually. So basically, how much of GB is this? Yeah, it is in 15 GB. Your Linux operating system is in 15 GB actually. You can copy this 15 GB folder to your pen drive, and you can go somewhere and you can copy that. You can copy that your Linux hard disk drive from your pen drive to the other's computer, and you can run it. You don't need to carry the your complete whole laptop for this virtual machine. Okay, simply you can copy the simply you can copy this virtual machine hard disk drive to your pen drive, and you can carry all over the world. Simply you can copy the again same folder to the other's computer. And but before if you want to use this particular virtual hard disk, you need to use specific software like VMware Workstation. Okay, you can carry hard disk. You can carry virtual hard disk to anywhere in the world. But if you want to run that in the other's computer, definitely they must have the VMware Workstation. And remember one thing, some people will ask me that, Bharat, I'm using the VMware workstation in my computer, but my friend's computer has a virtual box. Can I copy, can I copy my hard disk files to him? No. Why? Because uh, VMware workstation patterns is different and virtual box patterns is different. If you installed your Windows XP or any other operating system by using the VMware workstation, to run that application, we need to use VMware Workstation only, not any other company name, any other company application. Right. VMware virtual machine hard disk files will be in the encrypted, so the user data is unreadable to anyone. Okay. So if you want to access those files, you need to enter the password first. Okay. These are the advantages of the VMware Workstation. Okay. How can we install any operating system in the virtual machine that we are going to discuss about? Okay, now I'm going to create one single folder over here. uh, test space vm hdd. why do I need to create a specific folder for this? Why? Because when I install the VMware when I install any kind of operating system, that will mix with all the files, so it will be bit clumsy. So that is the reason for the virtual machines, for the virtual machine hard disk, I just maintain the separate folder. Okay. So now I going to create a folder with the name of the test vmhdd. So it was in empty. So this is the path of mine. So how can we install the any operating system in the virtual machine? Let's see here. First of all, first of all, the VMware after installing the VMware workstation. So basically, where do you get the VMware workstation actually? Let me show you. Simply, you can search it in the Google VMware workstation. Hit the enter. Okay. Simply, you can click on over here. VMware Workstation Pro. Scroll down and you can download VMware Workstation 17 Pro Windows. Click on download over here. So after that, actually VMware Workstation is a premium one. But if you need any kind of key for this, simply you can search like this: VMware Workstation 17 Pro license key. Hit the enter. VMware. So when you search like this, you will get the result from the GitHub. So so you will get result from the GitHub. So when you click on over here on the top of the result, then you can find a lot of license keys. So use the primary license key, then it will work out. Okay, this will be useful for the latest version of the VMware workstation. Then you will get the premium license. Okay, now how can we install a virtual machine in our computer? Now I am going to install the VMware. Now I am going to install the Windows XP in my own computer. Uh, Now let's see. When you turn on the VMware workstation, it looks like this. Create new virtual machine. Open new virtual machine like this. So simply you can click on the create new virtual machine. When you click on the create new virtual machine, you can see the two options with the welcome window. One is typical and another one is custom. Typical means it is very easy. Why? Because it has already customized options, and what are the what are the requirements is needed for the beginner, or what are the requirements needed for the operating system. Everything will be taken by the typical. But if you go for the custom, everything you must choose with your own decisions. It may difficult for the beginners. So that is the reason I recommend to choose the typical option. So when you choose the typical option, automatically it will set up all the basics requirement for your operating system. So I'm going to choose a typical one. Next one, click on the next one. And after that, so it will ask you to choose the uh, installer disk. So what is this Power ISO actually? So actually you guys know image file means .jpg. Okay. Documents means .doc. PDFs means .pdf. Uh, Uneditable format means .pdf. Okay. And as well as if you need, if you go for the virtual series or DVDs, that will be converted into the image file .iso file format. Okay. .iso file format means that is a raw image files. Okay. So where do we can download this? We can download from the anywhere from the internet. So just we need to get the Windows operating system. Where is this? We need Windows XP. Yeah, this is the Windows XP actually. Now I'm going to choose the Windows XP operating system. Windows XP operating system 64-bit. Choose it. So this is the choose it. After choosing this, click on the next one. Now it may ask you the product key. uh, I have the product key, so I'm going to give here. So you can enter the full, you can enter the name of the operating system, test test, okay, and the password is also I'm going to give. It depends upon your requirement. It doesn't matter. Now click on next. So it will ask you, uh, observe very carefully. Now it will ask you virtual machine name. This is actually a label name. Label name means I will show you what is actually the label name here. When you open the VMware workstation, like this, when you open the VMware workstation like this, uh, you can see here, these are the label names. So what is this label names means? Label names means, so these are just like a nickname. You can keep the name anything like anything like to recognize easily. For example, WXP. WXP is also with my Windows XP. Okay, whatever you want, you can name it as anything. You can name it as your pet dog name, anything to remember easily, or you can make it as a shortcut name like that. Okay, so instead of the long name, you can use a short name, any of that. So now we need to enter the virtual machine name. So Windows XP test. I'm going to give like this, Windows XP test. This is the label name of my particular Windows XP operating system. Now, where do you want to install this particular Windows XP operating system? Hard disk. Where do you want to create the Windows XP hard disk? Now, I'm going to click on the browse. I have already created a specific folder for that, right? So now, where is it? So this PC, in this particular PC, go to the V drive and test VM HDD. Go to that and click on OK. Now, we choose this particular drive, in a V drive, test VM HDD, this particular folder we choose. Now, our Windows XP operating system is going to install in this particular folder, particular path. Okay. Now, click on the next, and after that, it will ask you how much amount of hard disk drive you want to give. So you can choose, you can give anything. You can give like 100, 200, 1000, anything. It depends upon you. Depends upon your pace. For example, let's see. We need to calculate something. Let me show you. So how much GB? Now I'm going to use the V drive. So how much GB I left with? I left with the 98 GB of the free space. Okay. From this 98 GB, I can use some. For example, I cannot give more than 98 GB. Why? Because I don't have any kind of free space more than 98 GB over here in this particular drive. So I need to choose less than 90 GB. Okay. So you can use like that. So where is it? I'm going to choose a 20 GB over here. 20 GB is more than enough for the Windows XP operating system for the virtual machine. Okay. Now create a split virtual disk into a multiple files. Why? Because it is easy to copy files from one place to another, one computer to another computer. So that is the reason I'm going to choose the second option, split virtual disk of files. Okay, and the maximum size of my virtual disk is, my Windows XP virtual disk is 20 GB. Now click on the next. Now again it will show you customized hardware. So already we given the name like a Windows XP test, and as well as the path of the Windows XP, and hard disk size of the Windows XP, and this is RAM size of the Windows XP. If you want to customize any one of these, you can click on the customize the hardware over here. Click on it. So this is actually a customizable hardware for the virtual machine. You can change RAM for your virtual machine anytime. Okay. So this is Windows X. This this memory is only for the Windows XP. So how much of RAM I have actually? 16 GB I have. You can change like this. 16 GB of RAM I have. You can choose 4, 2, 1 or 512. I the 512 is more than enough to run the Windows XP. Even you don't need a 1 GB for the Windows XP. 512 is more than enough for the Windows XP. Right? So after that, uh, some people wants to install the Kali Linux operating system in their own computer. Some people wants to install heavy operating systems in their own computer. For that, they need to choose uh, some more RAMs. I will tell you how does it actually works. How this RAM virtual RAM works. Listen very carefully. How a computer will share the virtual RAM. For example, let's consider this. How much amount of GB I have? I have 16 GB in my own computer, in my base computer. That means in my laptop. So now I am going to install a Windows XP, Windows XP in my own computer. Windows XP in my own Windows XP in my own computer. I mean virtual machine in my virtual machine. The RAM is like I given like consider example 2 GB and okay, Windows 7 2 GB I given, and as well as Kali Linux operating system. Kali Linux operating system I given like 4 GB. Let's just for example 4 GB, and Ubuntu again I given the 4 GB, and Windows 8 I installed. Again we need to give 4 GB. Let's consider how much GB it was. 4 plus 8, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Oh my god. So total 14 GB we given to the virtual machine. 14 GB we given to the virtual machine. Rest of how much GB we have for the base machine? 2 GB we have. Okay. So most of the people think that permanently that memory was shifted to the virtual machine. No, permanently the memory will not shift to the virtual machine. What will happen means you can install the you can install another 15 operating systems too, but we can run parallelly a limited GB of RAM. For example, I have my RAM is 16 GB. My RAM is 16 GB. Okay, my base RAM is 16 GB. I can run the Windows Kali Linux operating system 4 GB, and I can run the Ubuntu operating system. Total 8 GB will run at that particular moment. So when you turn on the virtual machine, when you turn on the specific virtual operating system, uh, then it will start utilizing the specific RAM size. If you turn off your virtual machine, if you turn off your virtual operating system, again that RAM will come back to the original place. For example, 16 GB I have, 16 GB I have, 4 GB of 4 GB of Kali Linux operating system I am going to run. So when I turn on the Kali Linux operating system, 4 GB will be given to the Kali Linux. When I turn off the Kali Linux operating system, again it will come back to the base machine. Okay. Specifically, when you turn on your Kali Linux operating system, then only it will use that required then only the required RAM memory will be utilized by the virtual machine. If you turn off your virtual machine, again it will go back to your base RAM. So that is how it works. So now I'm going to choose the 512 MB is more than enough. And after that, there is another thing. There is a problem with the virtual machine. What is that problem? Uh, Whenever we are using the virtual machines cannot use the Wi-Fi. Why? Because virtual machine technology does not have the Wi-Fi receiving features. Okay, it was not implemented. So that is the reason we are going to use some network options. Those are the two things. One is bridge option and the other one is network option. So bridge option means it acts like a same it acts like a same network. Whatever the series of the IP address you are getting in the base machine, the same series of the IP address you will get in the virtual machine too. Okay, that is called bridge option. But if you want to act like a different router, and that means for example your base machine is in the different internet and your virtual machine is in the different internet, why people choose the like this NAT option? This NAT options creates like in a different network. Why? Because if you want to test, if you want to attack on the different virtual machine which is not available in the local, if you want to attack someone, you need to before test that application from your side. So you cannot run your neighbor's computer, you cannot run your some other's computer. So that is the reason if you choose the NAT option, it will act like a different network option. So if you choose the NAT, it will act like a different network. The base machine was in the different network and virtual machine will be in the different network. It acts like that. So it will create a different series of the IP address. So uh, if you want to test that in your computer, if you want to test it in a different environment, for example, you create a malicious program and you want to test that in the some other computer which is not available in the same network. Okay, so you can use the NAT option in your virtual machine and you can run that particular operating system. Then automatically it will act like a different network computer. So like that. So now click on the next. If it is done, click on the next. Click on the close. So finally, 512 MB RAM, 20 GB hard disk, and path of the my Windows XP virtual machine, and it is the label name of it. Simply click on the finish. All the requirements we given, all the requirements we given. So now let's see this. Go to the VM where now. So how can we open how can we see the installed virtual machine actually? So there is a option called show library on the top of the VMware workstation. If you observe my cursor, see here, show the library. So when you click on it, it will show the label name. Where is the label name? Yeah, Windows XP test. So when you click on it over here, it will show you on the right side. Every time you can customize, edit virtual machine settings. Click on it here. Every time you can change your RAM size. Every time you can change your RAM size too. Okay, but before running the operating system, after running the operating system, you cannot change it. Okay, so now turn on the power on to the virtual machine. Okay, obvious. When you click on the power on to the virtual machine, it will start installing the Windows 6. Bharat, what we did in the previously we customized uh, for our requirements, and now the Windows XP was installing. Okay, now the Windows XP was installing. Understanding? It will take some more time. So, but I don't want to show all these things. Why? Because installing the Windows XP, everyone knows this. Okay, but see here, after installing the Windows XP, it looks like this. Okay, I'm going to turn on. I think I don't know about the password. I forgot about it. We need to crack it. It is installing the Windows XP. One side. Okay, give me a second. turn on the Windows XP. Installation is common for the virtual machine and base machine, but before that we need to do some changes that I showed to you. If you properly install the Windows XP, it looks like this. Let me show you. In the same way, we need to install the Linux operating system too. Okay. Yes. Yeah. Now, now I will show you how can we download the Linux operating system for your computer. Uh, you can go for the kali.org official website, kali.org. So what is this Linux operating system? This Linux operating system we can use it for the okay, the times up. Sorry. Okay, guys. Yeah, you guys, you can. So I'm going to end this session today now. So before that, download the Linux operating system from this particular thing. Go to kali.org and click on the downloads. Click on the downloads and scroll down, scroll down. You can find like VMware workstation, VMware workstation. So in this VMware 64-bit, you can download this. Okay. So first of all, go to the Kali Linux operating system. Go to the Kali Linux operating Kali.org website, official website. Go to the Kali.org official website. Click on the download and scroll down. Okay, scroll down slowly. After that, you can find VMware virtual machine documentation. You can find like this, and in this 64-bit, not 32-bit, 64-bit, and download this one. So why do we need to download this? I told you I told you we can share the virtual hard disk to the anyone. So already this company is sharing the virtual hard disk to us. So we don't need to install this Windows Kali Linux in our computer. Automatically it was pre-installed Windows pre-installed Kali Linux operating system hard disk. Simply we need to download and run it in our computer. You don't need to worry about how to install the Kali Linux in our computer too. Okay. So this is how, this is our assignment. Download the file. Okay. Okay. Right. So thank you so much, guys. If you have any kind of questions, you can ask me that about the virtualization. AK and Dinesh. Yeah, please.
No, no, nothing. I have it already.
Okay, okay, okay. Okay. So tomorrow we're going to discuss about the brute force attack and system password trackings and prevention of it. All these things we are going to discuss about this concept. So virtual machine is very much important for that. Okay. So we will continue the session tomorrow. Okay. Okay, Dinesh and AK. I'm leaving now. If you have any kind of queries, you can drop it to the team. Thank you so much for your support.